Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of What Mark Spins, my vinyl collection series. So today I'm going to be going over the second half of the B's. First two are my Best Coast ones. This is a 3-song EP that came with the pre-ordering of California Nights, Heaven Sent, Feeling Okay. 3 of, in my opinion, the best songs off of that album. But more importantly is the 7-inch of The Only Place, backed by their cover of Fleetwood Mac Storms. This 7-inch is actually how I got into Best Coast in the first place. I remember back in 2012, I went to the local record store to go to like an unofficial listening party of the new Beach House album, Bloom. And they were giving stuff away. And one of them was this 7-inch from Best Coast, who I'd never heard of at the time. So I just wound up getting this, along with that shirt you saw in the Beach House review with the eye and the Teen Dream on it and stuff. And I do like this song, but it's definitely encapsulating of why I think a lot of people don't like Best Coast, since even as a guy that's lived in Southern California his entire life, this song is like really in your face about it, to the point where even I get a little bit put off by it. I don't know, but it's still a catchy song, and the B-side cover of Fleetwood Mac Storms is really good too. So yeah, Best Coast. Next up's my 7-inch of Big Data's Dangerous. There isn't really much to say about this here, both because I think I already talked about this in my Record Store Day video from last year, and because Big Data's album is, well, my #1 album of last year. Definitely his big hit that I really wish he would be able to follow up commercially, but I mean, the fact that he got a hit that big is kind of awesome to begin with. Next up is the Black Keys, Turn Blue. I'll admit that out of all the Black Keys albums to have on vinyl, this isn't one of the more essential ones. I do like this album. I definitely like this album more than a lot of Black Keys fans. I do kind of like the psych rock direction they were going in on songs like Weight of Love, for example. The Danger Mouse influence weighed a bit too heavily on it. The cover for this is awesome, I'll say that. This is a really cool cover art to have on vinyl. Also comes with a CD in there, which I think is kind of cool. You know, you can just give this to a friend after you rip this to your iTunes. So yeah, Black Keys, Turn Blue. Not perfect, but kind of underrated. Next up is a 7-inch of Bleachers, I Wanna Get Better. So this is one of those Record Store Day things that I didn't talk about in the Record Store Day video in 2014, mostly because I wound up getting this like a week after Record Store Day, just from kind of shuffling around the bins at the record store. But let me tell you a little story about what happened right after I got this record. So I'd been collecting vinyl for about 3 years at that point or so, and I was pretty excited to go listen to this since I was really loving this song, especially since it had a remix on the back that I was curious about. But unfortunately, I decided to leave this on the car seat as I was going on a couple other errands, and this wound up being the first record I ever warped. And despite my best efforts from all of the e-hows and instructional videos I could find, I just wound up giving up after a few weeks. It's still really worth having just because this translucent blue color is really cool, and I don't know, maybe it could make a cool coaster if you're creative enough. And probably the coolest thing is that when I saw Bleachers again at X-Fest in 2014, I went up to him at the meet and greet and said, hey, I accidentally warped your record here. Do you have any tips about how I can unwarp it? And he said, sorry man, I don't really know. But he was super cool and wound up signing this saying, Mark, with love, sorry about the warping, Jack. I also heard the Bleachers are going to be making a new album this year, so just fingers crossed for that. So yeah, Bleachers, I want to get better. I want this record to get better too. Puns. Next up, actually getting into some older records for once, is Bloodrock, Bloodrock 2. This is one of the records that was in my dad's collection when he handed it down to me, and even he doesn't really remember anything about it. Probably the most interesting thing about this classic hard rock record from, I believe, 1970, 71 or so, is the song DOA, which is kind of the quote-unquote hit from here, was actually banned from the radio in 1970 and early 70s, because not only is the uncut version of the song 8.5 minutes long, it is a genuinely disturbing song like 45 years later. I believe it's about like a guy getting out of a plane crash and just the last things he sees before he dies. It's a really haunting song. I'm actually going to link it in the description if you ever just want to turn off the lights late at night and feel like not sleeping, then that's definitely a good song. Up 8 songs on this thing are pretty good. It's kind of typical, like, early 70s hard rock with a kind of a darker spin, but definitely not as much with the song DOA. I also have the album they put out after that, and it's a lot less impressive. And sticking with the old 70s rock theme, we got Bastin with Bastin. Sorry for the accent there. This is just a ridiculously catchy classic rock record with some hard rock leanings. Incredible vocals. You guys have probably heard the songs like More Than a Feeling, Long Time, Peace of Mind. What I really do love about the packaging on this record is this little biography on the back. I kind of like how even then they were making fun of how indulgent a lot of those biographies and liner notes were. It gives a little paragraph thing about some technical stuff and says, listen to the record. Okay, how the band came together, this guy met this guy, and yeah. Listen to the record. Okay, if you still need more information, this guy was doing this at the time, and then it goes on that. Listen to the record, and just kind of goes on like that for the whole thing here, and I don't know, I thought that was a cool touch. But yeah, this is a great record. You guys should check it out. If you ever see it at the record store, this is a really cool buy, especially since this is one of those, like, iconic album covers. Next up, to get into some bittersweet territory, is David Bowie. I got this 7-inch of Drive-In Saturday. I believe I talked about it in a Record Store Day video, unless I got in 2013. I kind of forgot. This isn't really one of his talked about all the time hits, but still decently popular. I actually got into the song through the Def Leppard version that was on their covers album about a decade ago. And I also recently found this 12-inch single of Let's Dance. Great pop song, even if the version on here is 7.5 minutes for some reason. I don't know why, but hey, it's an awesome groove, so I'm not going to complain. Not really much else to say, but rest in peace, Ziggy, Thin White Duke. And the last record here is The Burning of Rome, Year of the Ox. You guys might remember in 2014, this was in my top 10 records of that year. I also talked about it in Underground Corner and interviewed the frontman in what I believe is my first interview on this channel, and you could really tell. I'm not going to say much here that I didn't say in those videos, just a super all-over-the-place alternative and indie rock record that works on every level. There's like some theatricality on this record, some really catchy hooks. Just a local band I think deserves a lot more attention. I'm not sure how the series is going to be spaced out, honestly, just because my semester just started, and you know how things are going to build up over time. So, yeah. So yeah, see you guys later.